9 years ago. Andre Agassi featured in that one against Michael Chang, and now he's taking on Robbie Ginepri, the 22-year-old, unseeded, ranked 46, against the 7th seed, ranked number 7, the 2 times former champion and 3 times losing finalist. Best of 5 sets, 5 tiebreak sets, the winner to play either Roger Federer or Leighton Hewitt. Agassi won the spin of the coin and asked Ginepri to serve first.
Ginepri obviously had choice of side. Surprised in a way, chose this end. It's the northern end. Sun to his right.
Well, it's a heck of a point for the second point of the match, and Ginepri already showing just how quick he can be.
Yes, I think the first set's going to be very important, given that both these men have played a lot of tennis. So just the 9 aces against Correa in 5 sets.
Yes, pummeling away at the one spot, an immediate chance to break.
Well, Agassi's backhand down the line, and he will have noted that Ginepri was just a little slow to get to that. We've seen Ginepri play his 3 times down the line already.
Agassi guessed right. And the 35-year-old is off to just the sort of flying start he would have wanted.
Well, Ginepri mentioned his volley. I spoke about it, and having missed that one, it wasn't hit quite as cleanly by Agassi, and Ginepri was probably just a little fooled by that fact. But in the end, made a real mess of it. Virtually had to come in, of course. Agassi naturally with any final in mind, although every player will say he plays one match at a time, will look really to finish points off as quickly as he possibly can.
Yep, particularly with the final to take place tomorrow. No day's rest, of course. All due to the demands of American television. They want everything crammed into the last 3 days.
Men's doubles played yesterday, the final, won by the Bryan twins. Went down very popularly, of course. Oh, just a little sluggish moving to that. Not hit all that hard. You can see just a little irritated as a result. You get the break, you want to consolidate. No cheap points for the opponent.
Must be tough for a young American going out there and finding the crowd totally for his opponent. But I guess he would have expected it. Well, some surprising errors off the ground in this game from Agassi. And Ginepri has 2 chances to level.
Well, he has been serving particularly well as Agassi. Been a feature perhaps of his serving over the last few years. Greater number of aces.
He has 2 excellent serves to save the break points.
Well, the backhand is proving very wayward. And a good move by Ginepri, playing it back down that side.
Yet again, the serve to the rescue.
It's one of the things, of course, that used to irritate him so much about playing Sampras. He'd get to break point on Sampras, and Sampras would deliver the ace.
Well, it looks to me as if he's going to pummel away at the forehand. Oh, he's just made it. Agassi's giving it a long, hard look.
Yes, I'm sure Hawkeye will confirm they just got enough of the line. Just good movement by Ginepri and good timing. You've really got to get the feet right there. Very close.
Yes, I'm yet to be convinced, Drew. I don't think we're going to see it on Hawkeye. Well, the early tail of the tape. Ginepri 3 break points. Agassi 1. Agassi 2 games. Ginepri none.
Yeah, so often you can have a close match, closer even sometimes than a 5-setter, but the score could go 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, just because the winner has won the important points. Really not pulling any punches, are they?
You know, what happened there is that Andre was between the sideline judge and the bounce of the ball, so the sideline judge put hands over eyes to indicate that the umpire that he couldn't see, and Steve Ulrich made the decision. And that's a second ace for Ginepri.
Well, he'd set it up nicely with the two-hander down the line. Got a service action a little bit like Jim Courier's. And I think at times doesn't, or in the past has not made the most of his serve. 6 foot, 1.83 m. He's powerful. And And even if you don't ace, that's a means of doing it. We've seen Agassi do it to him, take him out of court in the first court, on the right court, open up. Then he has the option of a wrong footer as well.
So Robbie Ginepri will be relieved to be on the scoreboard, but it's Agassi who has the early lead, 2-1.
The Champions League. It's back next week on Eurosport.
Jim Braddock was a proud father who'd do anything for his family.
I have to believe I got some kind of say over our lives.
I'm always behind you.
Russell Crowe, Renee Zellweger, from the director of A Beautiful Mind.
I know that these days not everybody gets a second chance.
You can do it, Jimmy!
Cinderella Man.
Der Live-Herzschlag im Eurosport-Videotext. Heute schon gedrückt? Gewinnen Sie 4 Tickets für den Sachsenring. Sport live auf Schwarz, der Eurosport-Videotext.
Enjoy the US Open with the Lacoste champions.
Andre Agassi with the 2-1 lead and a break of serve in this first semi-final of the men's singles. To come later today, of course, the second semi-final, Federer against Hewitt, and then the women's final in the wee small hours of the morning. Your time, Kim Clijsters against Mary Pierce. Agassi will want to get his first serve percentage up. It's below 50% at the moment.
Well, he's going to get it up, of course, if he serves like that, because there he took a lot of pace off. Just got the kicker in deep.
Are you talking about backhands down the line?
Well, I was just thinking it's almost pointless actually to comment about where Agassi hits the ball off the ground, because he can hit it anywhere, and most people are well aware of that.
Love game for Agassi, and he leads 3-1.
Well, Ginepri threw in a couple of loopy backhands there, and I just wondered whether that was something he was thinking of doing, because Agassi can negate that by taking the ball very early after it's bounced. Well, the backhand was a bit wayward in the opening game. You can see the wry smile on Agassi's face. not up to expectation. That is, of course, where Agassi should be looking to score more when Ginepri hits second serves, 3 of which he's hitting the 3 points. Just in time, you feel.
This lovely angle. Did Andre get an outside edge on that?
Not quite sure.
No, not me. What I am sure about is that Ginepri's just held another service game, but it's Agassi who leads by 3 games to 2 for set.
Tucson for adventurous drivers everywhere.
Really been an exceptional effort for Robbie Ginepri. Previous best effort here at the US Open was reaching the 3rd round a couple of years back. Of course, last year he lost in the first round to Agassi. He lost to Agassi in the first round in 2002 as well. So not exactly had much luck with his draws, is it?
No, that's for sure.
And of course he was due to play Andy Roddick in the second round here. Gilles Muller of Luxembourg played to Roddick in the first round and promptly lost to Ginepri, with whom he was playing doubles. No wonder Ginepri turns away in disgust at that one.
Yes, he really needed to be a bit more nimble on his feet. That's it, get them going, had to move a little closer to the ball. Kept waiting for one of them to go down the line. Longest rally of the match so far.
Coached by Francisco Montana is Robbie Ginepri, as he was telling us.
And his father is actually from Luxembourg.
further evidence of his speed, and that was almost a sneaky little shot, wasn't it? His dad, Rene, is a systems analyst. His mother is a school teacher, Nancy.
Well, he missed that volley early on, but that sortie to the net will certainly give him some confidence, taking the early second serve. Really getting stuck in. Another one of those lofted shots by Ginepri.
And it brings him his 4th break point of the match. Yet to convert. But Agassi pulls that one wide and Ginepri breaks back. It's 3 apiece.
Well, from 30-15, it really went a bit haywire for Agassi, apart from the excellent point that Ginepri played, taking the early ball and getting into the net. But then some really rash shots.
Third ace.
The sun obviously getting to Agassi just a little bit from this end. It's one of the reasons I didn't expect Ginepri to start on that side where Agassi is.
Yeah, Agassi's just lost the plot for a moment. He's also lost 3 straight games. That one to love. So Ginepri ahead for the first time in the match at 4-3.
Well, there are times when Agassi just gets a little frustrated and shows it by some reckless play, but didn't seem any real reason there. It's a break-up. Ginepri perhaps not moving his feet as well. A little wild at times, and suddenly Agassi hands him back the initiative, because once Ginepri has made that break back, he feels, hey, this chap's not necessarily going to thrash me at all. I'm here on merit. I've just beaten Correa, one of the top players in the world. I can take on Agassi, who plays a similar sort of game from the back of the court. And as I said earlier, if he can keep Agassi out there a while, just run aloft balls down, not give Agassi too much of a target. And by that I mean don't go into the net much at all, only go in behind real quality, and occasionally come in almost as a surprise to Agassi. If he does it regularly, he's not a good enough volleyer to sustain Agassi's passing shots.
So Agassi taking out a new racket, of course. A freshly strung one, because he will be serving with new balls, with the score at 3-4. Well, interesting, the last 3 games, all of them won by Ginepri, acknowledging the new balls being shown to him. Agassi serving, 3-4 opening set.
Breaks a run of 7 successive points for Ginepri, which in Italian means a tree, he was told during the course of the week. Said he knew about it, but doesn't know where his Italian ancestors come from.
Yeah, struggling behind the second serve, and he's producing a lot of them. And still that backhand looks out of sync a little.
Yes, he really opened up, didn't he? A little too soon with it. He's normally very good at keeping the right shoulder square on. That's terrific, because Ginepri had anticipated Agassi, having committed to the cross-court forehand, must have seen Ginepri on his way here. Wasn't going to be changing it and had to hit it so fine. Well, picks this nicely. It's not easy to pick because Agassi's been varying the serve. There, for instance, he seemed to be going the wrong way.
So Agassi holds, stops the run of games against him, and we're tied at 4-all in the first set. Nice thing about this match, it's being played at a refreshing pace. Neither man takes long between the points.
No, I made that point when Ginepri was playing Correa. It was very quick. Not as quick as the likes of Ivanisevic and Steffi Graf, but quick enough.
Yes, we haven't caught sight of Mrs. Agassi as yet. Ace number 4.
Just shrugs it off. He seems to have a terrific demeanor, does Ginepri. Quietly spoken, as you heard.
Yes, until these championships, perhaps his best known claim to fame was that he once dated Minnie Driver, the Hollywood actress. Well, interesting changes of pace there from Agassi.
Yes, I don't think I've seen him play as many successive single-handed backhands. Kept thinking he might slip in the drop shot because he uses the single-hander for that, plays it down the line so well.
But he sort of teased and tantalized the error out of Ginepri, and Agassi with the chance to restore his lead. Well, he took it on the drive volley. I think everybody thought for a moment he'd mishit it, but it had just the right amount of topspin to bring it down and secure the break. Agassi back in front then at 5-4.
Yes, he may play a lot of his tennis from the back of the court, Agassi, but as we see in this point, he's prepared to take on a shot if it's there to be taken on. Here makes the decision to go in, take it before it lands, which of course gives Ginepri less time. Cuts it very, very fine. It must have just got the line. But we also see him at times, of course, smash from the back of the court. It's almost one of the features of the Agassi game, unlike so many other players who play from the baseline, who take the high bouncing ball, let it drop down and play the high forehand. Agassi will smash it. So there's a lot of courage in this man. Bloody love, Ginepri will be kicking himself.
Yeah, having done so well to fight his way back into this set, down 2-love.
I think one of the possible reasons for that single-handed slice that Agassi's playing more of in this match is maybe he watched Federer, because Federer against Nalbandian was using it a lot to Nalbandian's two-handed side, and it won for him a lot of points.
That scoreline means that Andre Agassi is coming out to serve for the opening set. A set of 3 breaks to serve so far. Second ace.
I'm a little surprised he's taking these balls quite as far back as he is, Ginepri. He's got the flatter forehand, but he's obviously just not prepared to risk taking the earlier ball. That one got up too high on him, though. And interesting too that Ginepri should have stood way inside the baseline, trying to rectify matters.
Well, I don't think that went over the net. I think it went round it, which is perfectly legitimate. 3 set points.
Well, that's it. I think he's far better off. Otherwise, Agassi can get away with a lot by just bowling the ball in. He looks to take it earlier. He's got the technique with which to do it.
Ah, there's Mrs. Agassi. Otherwise known as Steffi Graf, of course, with their daughter, I think, Jazz. So, 2 set points have come and gone. This is the 3rd.
Foot faulted as well.
He's missed it. Well, if you're going to lob defensively, get it high, get it deep. It wasn't actually that deep. But first set goes to Agassi by 6 games to 4 after 33 minutes.
Das Wetter wird immer extremer. Das Breferdach immer schöner. Da ist alles in einer Farbe. Anschlüsse und Schindeln, Rinnen und Rohre, passend zu Fenstern und Türen. Brefer, das Dach stark wie ein Stier.
Stellen Sie sich vor, Sie nehmen ein Paket für Ihren Nachbarn entgegen. Ein neuer Samsung 40 Zoll LCD-Fernseher. Um sicherzugehen, dass er auch unbeschädigt ist, packen Sie ihn aus. Einfach umwerfend. Wo würde Ihr Nachbar ihn aufhängen? Er sieht toll aus. Alle lieben Ihren neuen Samsung-Fernseher. Dieses Bild, dieser Sound. Einige Tage später fragt Ihr Nachbar, ob Sie ein Paket für ihn angenommen haben und Sie fragen sich, habe ich ein Paket angenommen? Mit einem Samsung LCD-Fernseher ist eben alles vorstellbar.
Einmal mehr versuchen sie es über die linke Seite. Da geht mal einer durch bis zur Grundlinie. Flanke kommt, Kopfball ans Lattenkreuz. Mein lieber Freund.
Der nächste sitzt. 100%ig. Wahnsinn. Und mit Bet & Win kann ich jetzt noch live mitwetten. Und zwar bis zur allerletzten Spielminute. Da kann ich auf alles setzen. Wer wann ein Tor erzielt, wer Anstoß hat oder wer die nächste gelbe Karte kassiert. Und das ist ganz einfach. Hier bekomme ich alle Infos zum Spiel live und in Echtzeit. Die Quoten ändern sich je nach Spielverlauf. Wette aussuchen und Ergebnis tippen, dann Einsatz festlegen, bestätigen und fertig.
Spielflanke kommt.
Ah, ja.
Ist er drin?
Na also, geht doch.
Was für ein Tor.
Bet & Win, die Sportwette im Internet.
Robbie Ginepri, a set down now to Andre Agassi. Coming out to serve at the start of the second set. A reminder, of course, that today on Eurosport you'll be able to watch the second semi-final also live. Roger Federer and Leighton Hewitt. Yeah, that certainly is daughter Jess, who's clearly enjoying life. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, British summer time, 2 in the morning, Central European time, the women's final. Kim Clijsters and Mary Pierce.
Well, some irony in the fact that I was describing Agassi's ability to hit the bounced smash.
Is that Chris Evert alongside Steffi?
Could be, with a new hairstyle.
Yeah, it looks a bit like it, doesn't it?
And the fact that Ginepri should have taken on that high bouncing lob of Agassi's and tried to smash it himself. Obviously doesn't do it quite as often as Agassi does.
Here's a nice little dip on that passing shot from Ginepri. The roll of the wrist, dipping it down at the feet of Agassi and forcing the error. And this is the camera right on the top of the stand as we look at the first set. Well, for Agassi to win a set in which he's only served 42% first serves in.
Yes, of course, what that tells us, at least he's got 2 in the plus column as his winners as opposed to his unforced errors. What that tells us is that Ginepri is just not winning enough points on the Agassi second serve. He did change his tactic late in the set, Ginepri, taking the ball a lot earlier. Let's see if he keeps that up while he's inside the baseline. I think that's good. Yes, I'm not sure that's necessarily good. As I said earlier, you've got to come in behind real quality. So you can still be aggressive in your return and then, in a way, wait to see exactly what you've done before rushing in. Well, moving like a spring chicken there because the Ginepri shot was to the line. Had Agassi on the stretch here. Could not have played a better shot.
Certainly unloaded on that one, Ginepri. No holding back at all. Sadly, from his point of view, it missed. Love game then for Agassi.
There could be an element of the Blake approach to playing Agassi, because that American, of course, who did so well against Agassi, had him 2 sets love down, is very much a risk taker, hits the ball very hard off the ground, and Ginepri might have taken a cue from Blake. The one problem he has that Blake doesn't is that he's got a two-handed backhand like Agassi. Doesn't quite have the reach, therefore, that Blake has on that backhand side. It was tempting to go for it, wasn't it? Having played that forehand around the net post.
First double.
Yes, first double of the match.
Followed by Ginepri's 5th ace. Make that 6.
Good line down the centre of the court, of course, the lowest part of the net. And no harm in trying yet another.
Decent help that one for Ginepri, considering he was down 15-30. He stays ahead 2-1 second set.
Championships starting September 21st, live from Madrid on Eurosport.
Eurogoals, Monday on Eurosport, the famous weekly football magazine. The show that delivers the weekend action from some of the major European leagues like the Liga, Bundesliga or French League. The football fans' essential European guide back on the air. Eurogoals, Monday at 17:30 on Eurosport.
Continental, offizieller Partner der FIFA-WM 2006.
With Grundig HDTV.
Agassi is set to the good against Robbie Ginepri in the first of the men's singles semi-finals. Ginepri, though, leading 2-1 on serve in the second set.
You can see Agassi's use of the cap. Even tilted at an angle to keep out the sun here. You can never quite understand Ginepri and others. I don't mind the fashion statement, it's just that the peak's not doing much of a job. I'm sure he's not looking to shade his neck. Or the visor, as the Americans call it.
Yep. He's made it.
Doing unto Agassi what Agassi loves to do unto them. Not so much the net cord, but and not quite around the net post, but when on the run, straight down the line.
Oh dear. Well, Ginepri had gone the wrong way, and Agassi misses it. 3 break points to Ginepri. A break off serve to love. And Ginepri's ahead, 3-1.
Oh, this is a terrific retaliation by Ginepri, and that would have hurt Agassi, that return. Coach and family ultra pleased. Agassi just a little over anxious there to get right back into it. Well, he must have played there, Ginepri, because he'd used the kicker well. He had Agassi out of court. I was surprised he didn't play his forehand immediately to Agassi's forehand side. But by not doing so, he allowed Agassi to dictate. Close. Well, that's a rarity. An Agassi drop shot cross court. It's why he probably didn't play it so well. He usually plays the one down the line with a single-hander. He gave this one far too much air.
Yes, really miscued it, didn't he? On a big point too, a 15-30 point as he looks to try to break back.
Just holding back off that a little bit.
A 100% record so far. Agassi would love to continue that with this break point. And he has, so Ginepri's lead is short-lived, at least in terms of being up and break. Agassi breaks straight back, and they're back on serve at 3-2.
In tennis, technique comes first. After that, it's all about feeling. Staying focused and alert. And being ready to react in an instant. That's what makes for great results. That's Sixth Sense technology from Whirlpool. Whirlpool, on court with the champions.
Agassi has broken straight back then in this second set. 2-3, he trails Robbie Ginepri, but Agassi is set to the good.
Has that habit at the change of ends, every change of ends, attending to his cap, drying it off.
Now, what's all this I hear about a football result today, Mr. McMillan?
It hasn't reached me yet.
Swansea City 7, Bristol City 1. You obviously stopped your players at the Severn Bridge and wouldn't let you in.
I would think there's likely to be a steward's inquiry into that result.
Love 30, Ginepri with a chance again. Agassi denied the ace by a net cord.
What a shot. The shot of the match so far, surely. That's 7 straight points on Agassi's serve for Ginepri.
Agassi went for exactly the same serve again. Ginepri just read it.
I wondered when Agassi played that aborted drop shot cross court, whether he was perhaps in two minds of thinking of playing that shot, the short single-hander that keeps a little low. Well, he got the previous one very wrong. Why suddenly try it again there? A single-handed slice, that is.
So a big point here as Agassi tries to save the third break point.
Good call by the lines lady, because not easy to see it with Agassi moving in front of her as he did. Good effort by Ginepri, and you can see here it was very close.
Very close. I think there is just a space. Fourth break point then. He's always been a master of angles, Agassi.
And he hits them so flat. It was a fine return of serve by Ginepri. We saw him then trying to duplicate it with that almost squash shot, trying to just clip the ball, block the ball back into court. Shot that Andy Roddick plays well.
Point number 5 of this game.
Let's see if he persists in going to the Agassi backhand here.
worked so hard. Perhaps he'd run out of steam.
It was a huge effort. Just got carried away. He knows he can hit the backhand down the line, and obviously ought not to have played it in the end. It was a monumental effort, really, to get back into the point against Agassi, who can run you ragged. If at first you don't succeed, why not try it again?
His sixth chance for Ginepri in this game. In the context of this match, suddenly this is becoming a very, very big game.
Agassi almost seemed to relax as he played that cross-court backhand, giving Ginepri just a little more time, actually. What these errors should tell Ginepri is that he doesn't want to be too anxious to win the point quickly on the return of serve. Yes, by all means be aggressive. Give yourself perhaps just a little bigger target.
I guess he's still below 50% of first serves in. No, that backhand has just not functioned as he would want. Occasionally it's spluttered into life. That is some difference, isn't it?
Well, the 18th stroke of the rally. There were some good single-handers there from Ginepri, but in the end, really playing it unwisely. He had plenty of time then to use the two-hander.
So Agassi has now saved 7 break points. This is the 6th deuce.
And he's breathing heavily. He'd like to win this with one shot.
So in the context of things, was that wise by Ginepri?
No, this is just going for too much of a risk. He's aiming for the line. By all means hit it hard, but aim for a yard inside, a meter inside the line.
Extraordinary game, incredible hold from Agassi. Seven times Ginepri had break point, but he's pegged back. He had in love 40.
And you might say, well, surely against Agassi, who hits the ball so well, is so sound off the ground, you can't really afford to give him a meter. You must aim for the line. Generally, that would be the case, but we've seen Agassi missing so much on the backhand side, unusually so, that you don't necessarily, therefore, have to feel that he's going to hit the winner off that side or really going to make you stretch. There's always the possibility of an error there today.
New balls.
would say he was comprehensively beaten there. Ginepri. He had just no idea where Agassi was playing this, and of course he's with Leighton Hewitt, one of the great lobbers in the game.
Getting a little serious now for Ginepri. I wonder just how big a psychological toll that last game has taken on him. All those chances to be up 4-2. Now at 3-all. Down love 30.
That's a fine serve, because it wasn't just outright power, it was controlled. He had a bit of top on it. It was still pretty powerful. Fine save.
But again, it's the backhand slice that is troubling him. And Agassi, who is down in this set, down a break, now with a chance to move up a break.
Oh, wonderful second serve. Yes, he's got to work out, as Nalbandian failed to do against Federer, what to do with the slice that lands on the backhand side, the two-handed side in the middle of the court. Because if you play it and come in, you've got to make sure you play a very fine approach shot. Otherwise, Agassi will pass him. Well, they thought it was out. He thought the serve was out.
Serve was good. Serve was good.
Serve is not even close to being good.
It is a shame. It's a free point for Agassi.
Well,
it actually looks in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look in. And the return was on the line just to compound the felony.
Right, he's done well to recover.
Yeah, good hold from Ginepri, because the way things have been going over the last couple of games, this match was in danger of slipping away rapidly. Instead, Ginepri leads 4-3. Now, of course, Andre missed Wimbledon with his hip problems. But what sort of fitness is he in now? A question we put to Darren Cahill, his coach.
At times it has surprised us from when the pain has come in his back. It's when it's least expected. But at the moment he's really strong. Gil Reyes, who's the best in the business at what he does, has turned Andre into a physical beast. So he's going on the court and he's bringing it every time, and it's going to take a hell of an opponent to beat him.
Darren Cahill was himself a semi-finalist here at the US Open. Good player, the Australian. And of course, coached Leighton Hewitt to #1 in the world and was promptly fired. It's amazing, the relationship between players and coaches.
Yes, developed the nickname of Killer Cahill, so it's Beastly Agassi and Killer Cahill, and Gil Reyes Quite a trio. A bit of sciatica has been the problem, chronic sciatica, in fact, post-Wimbledon.
Most Australians have nicknames, don't they? Nails, Carmichael. Muscles for Rosewall.
Yes, the late Nails Carmichael, sadly.
Yeah.
Died. Good man. Played doubles with him quite a lot.
Did you have a nickname on the tour?
No, I don't think so. Other than coach, perhaps, after 5 years of team tennis coaching.
Yep.
Oh, strange one, because he didn't hit it all that hard. Agassi obviously didn't know which side he was hitting it to, because he just stood in the middle of the court. I have the feeling Agassi just at the moment, I think this is a good opportunity here for Ginepri. Suddenly looking tired.
And of course, he's had those 5 setters in his last 2 matches, Agassi. Last 2 matches with Melise and James Blake. And you know, they're playing in the heat of the day. 20-2 coming up to that.
Well, if he's feeling a little tired, that's the way to prevent further running around. 2 big serves.
Including his third ace, his first of this set, Andre. So the sharp end of the second set is reached at 4-all.
This is terrific. Just have the feeling here if Ginepri could keep everything under control, just cut out the unforced errors. See there, no real movement from Agassi. That one was hit quite a bit harder by Ginepri, but even so, Agassi didn't have to move but a meter or so. And that another indication, just having a crack pot at it.
And again, a double quick game then for Ginepri. His second love service game, and he leads 5-4. Yes, I guess there's always going to be that doubt about Andre now. He gets by, doesn't he, with a series of cortisone injections, which lasts for a certain amount of time. And at 35, the damage has been done to all the joints and so on.
Yes, and also there's, in fact, it's perhaps not so much that, although of course that's a factor in the point that he doesn't play as much tennis as that he used to play. But I think well, you see, first service points, he needs to win more of those. He's generally up in the mid to high 70s. So putting in perhaps a few that aren't big serves, and that could suggest a little bit of tiredness as well. So not as match fit. You can do so much gym training and road work, but with the matches that he's played at his age, it's why, in many ways, it's difficult to see Agassi winning these major tournaments, unless, of course, people on the other side bow out, or unless they're careless in their approach to him. You just make him run. He just doesn't win quite enough cheap points because he is made to work on his serve. Even though he's upped the number of aces he tends to serve per match of late.
(4-5) means Agassi must hold serve here to stay in the second set.
Yes, just in fact the wrong approach at this stage. If Agassi's where I think he is.
There's Ginepri, the nous, to suss out what is happening at the other side of the court.
So really the last 5 points on Agassi's service games have pretty well been uncontested.
Love service game for Agassi this time, his third of the match.
And that's certainly given Agassi a bit of space to breathe, to suck in the air. Great turning of defense into attack. What we have here is the second-ranked American behind Roddick Agassi against the fourth-ranked behind Taylor Dent.
First overrule of the match, and other than the slightest shake of the head, no protest from Agassi, which is revealing.
Yes, looks like a good overrule by umpire Ulrich.
Yeah, plumb on the line. That one's wide. Some dangerous times again for Ginepri. You really do need binoculars from up there. Well, that's called cutting it fine, isn't it, through a net cord and then onto the line?
Yes, and a real change of direction, hitting across the flight of the ball. He's done it again, terrific stuff. Lovely movement into the ball, taking it early. The diagonal approach to it too. That's a terrific play. Not sure whether he meant to hit it that much shorter, but the fact that the ball ended up in the service block meant that Agassi not only had to move a long way to the left, but also diagonally approach it.
Once again, a good hold by Ginepri. He was down 15-30 in that game. And Agassi must serve for a second time to stay in this second set and force a tie break.
Well, his decision here has got to be whether he remains very aggressive on the return of Agassi's serve. That is, supposing Agassi misses the first serve. Agassi gets the first serve in, chances are, unless he's bowling the ball in, which he occasionally does, that he can't really let fly or let rip on the next. By all means be aggressive, but as I was saying, give himself the big target. Don't give Agassi any cheap points, particularly at this stage. No double fault yet from Agassi.
But we've certainly spotted the problems with the backhand today.
Yes. Most unusual to see him with 16 unforced errors on that backhand side, because it's the side that he usually plays a bit within himself. Yes, he hits it hard, but it's the forehand where he really extends and looks to get maximum power. Sometimes even getting power there that, frankly, he shouldn't. The timing is so immaculate.
Put the pink one back, please.
So by his standards, a wobbly backhand.
Just a gorgeous afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky. 5-6, Agassi serving second set. Something. When he hits serve and it's a net cord, he almost always seems to hit exactly the same serve and doesn't change the line of attack at all. Ooh, that's a poor one.
I think Ginepri just hesitated a moment, thinking the serve might have been long too. Another backhand error.
Back on Agassi's side. And Ginepri is within 2 points of levelling the match.
Yes, these are very dangerous moments from Agassi. May have won the first set, but he's done quite a bit of moving, and he knows that should Ginepri win this set, he's going to have to run a marathon. That is terrific presence of mind.
Again, not a good drop shot from Agassi, but a perfect riposte to it by Ginepri, who has a couple of set points. It's 1-all. And the possibility of Ginepri becoming the lowest ranked player ever to reach a US Open final is now a very real one.
Flanke kommt, Kopfball ans Lattenkreuz. Mein lieber Freund.
Der nächste sitzt. 100%ig. Wahnsinn. Und mit Wetten Win kann ich jetzt noch live mitwetten. Und zwar bis zur allerletzten Spielminute. Da kann ich auf alles setzen. Wer wann ein Tor erzielt, wer Anstoß hat oder wer die nächste gelbe Karte kassiert. Und das ist ganz einfach. Hier bekomme ich alle Infos zum Spiel live und in Echtzeit. Die Quoten ändern sich je nach Spielverlauf. Wette aussuchen und Ergebnis tippen, dann Einsatz festlegen, bestätigen und fertig.
Spielflanke kommt.
Ah, ja.
Ist er drin?
Na also, geht doch.
Was für ein Tor.
Bet and Win, die Sportwette im Internet.
A fine effort by Robbie Ginepri to level this match. And one wonders what reserves Agassi has.
Yes, the last time Agassi played two successive five-set matches going into a semi-final. He'd also played one in the first round, the Australian in '94. And he proceeded to lose to Michael Chang rather limply.
Not what Ginepri needs. You said '94, didn't you? So,
yes.
Yeah, he was in his prime.
Yes.
24 years of age. Oh, yes. And again, Agassi looked a little step and a half slow moving up the court to that.
Yeah, still played a good shot, and you've really got to congratulate Ginepri for outthinking Agassi here, because the opening was down the line. Well, it's a bit like his sciatica. It's a little chronic, that backhand, the errors. Well, particularly fine rally because Agassi struck a terrific backhand, and there was a good reply from Ginepri. And then Agassi playing the short one, which of course has troubled Ginepri. He's not hit a first serve in this game, but it doesn't seem to matter too much.
And that goes wide off the top of the net. 3 games in a row for Robbie Ginepri.
And couldn't quite conceive of why Agassi should have tried to go cross-court there, unless he was looking for more court into which to hit the troublesome backhand, because there was a gaping hole down Ginepri's forehand side.
So this time the winners to unforced errors, showing a deficit for Agassi. There's a surplus in the first set. You just feel now through the next couple of games are going to be very significant. And can Andre hang on in there?
Yes, because I feel, unless I'm totally misreading it, that it is actually a matter of Agassi hanging in here, not hoping necessarily that Ginepri makes errors, but that would certainly help his cause. And even there you could sense, and that's good thinking by Ginepri, because he's berating himself for missing that. You can see it was a good serve, but what he's telling himself is don't give the opponent any cheap points.
Ace number 5 for Agassi. Some good serving. A 35-year-old in this one, this particular game. So he does hold on very comfortably to that service game. But still the doubts remain. Lovely depth.
Yes, a little forlorn look towards the linesperson by Agassi, but to no avail.
Oh yes.
Haven't seen quite as many of them, but I believe it's his best shot, this, in that it is such a difficult one, and he tends to make them so well. No. What was that?
It was a showboat of a shot, wasn't it? Trying to be very cute. Fine if you're playing exhibition match, not so good in the semi-final of a US Open.
Well, it constituted a lack of, or a breakdown of concentration. He's got to snap out of it, Ginepri.
So from 40-15 to break point. Just looking a little anxious, isn't she, the missus? Oh, it's Andre's turn to miss out, having done all the work.
Well, he hasn't played a backhand down the line for so long. And wasn't that a good effort by Agassi, because he really had to cover some distance. He burnt up some rubber here as shoes met concrete. Plexi-pave court. He knew how vital that was.
Oh, baseline judges corrected his call. So they'll replay the point at deuce.
Yes, it probably suits Ginepri just that little, because it was a shot to the baseline, which he's recognizing there. And now, of course, gets the first serve, possibility of an ace.
Instead, it's another break point for Agassi.
Well, Ginepri got a fine angle on it. Not holding back the younger American. Some brave play. A strange point by Ginepri, because surely sooner or later Agassi was going to stand in and let one rip. Now, whether Ginepri was doing it to catch his own breath, but I don't think so. I think he's doing it to tire Agassi out.
But he hasn't done that. Instead, Agassi gets the first break of the third set, but still Steffi looks rather anxious. 2-1 Agassi in the third, 1-set all.
The Champions League. It's back next week on Eurosport.
Week 2 of the magnificent Tour of Spain. And it's a roller coaster ride across the north of the country as the Vuelta snakes its way from the Costa Brava westward through the Pyrenees and beyond. With a whole stack of big climbs along the way. More than enough to keep Harris and company on their toes. The Vuelta, live in red and yellow, every day at 1600, live on Eurosport.
Enjoy the US Open with the Lacoste champions.
Surprising twist. Ginepri looked in charge, to be honest, and now he's dropped his serve early in this third set. So Agassi with the break and a 2-1 lead.
Doesn't look too miserable, though. He seems to take the knocks pretty well, does Ginepri. Those brown eyes of his go into a brown study. Just hope he's thinking this one out well. Broken Agassi, of course, in each of the previous 2 sets.
Agassi's caught Ginepri in the aces count at 6-all.
Yes, at one stage against Xavier Malisse, Agassi served 3 successive aces, and he was questioned about it afterwards, and he said, well, even a blind dog can find a bone, you know.
Yes, I'm not sure I could sniff the court. Did that with success earlier, but not this time. I suppose the one exception would be a dried dung court in India. Might be able to sniff that one.
Yeah, so we used to play on them in South Africa too. A mixture of dung and sand. Very good clay court.
You see ahead in the aces count. And he's ahead in the set, more importantly.
Of course, the point about dung in the solution is that it binds so well. Many of the rural huts in Africa use a lot of dung. Essential, of course, for Ginepri to hold on here, keep himself bound to this set. Ginepri just waiting for the cross court. Agassi's use of the two-hander down the line not as frequent. Some comment about the backhand there.
Love service game for Robbie Ginepri. They both had 3 of those now in the match. And Agassi leads 3-2 in the third at 1-all.
Jim Braddock was a proud father who'd do anything for his family.
I have to believe I got some kind of say over our lives.
I'm always behind you.
Russell Crowe, Renee Zellweger, from the director of A Beautiful Mind.
I know that these days not everybody gets a second chance.
You can do it, Jimmy!
Cinderella Man.
10 years. This man never brings me a single gift from his trips.
Not even a keychain.
It's the little things we remember.
Anything for your wife?
Yeah. Do you have a keychain?
Once at all in this first men's singles semi-final. Andre Agassi, though, has the lead in the third, 3-2 and serving. And, well, you can see what's happened to the Ginepri first serve and to the Agassi. Perfect drop shot, really.
Yes, years of practice. Little apology there.
Heartfelt, of course. Nice fella, Andre.
My goodness, Agassi was almost falling over as he played that one. He leant across so far. Well, the last time Ginepri served a love service game, Agassi followed him with one of his own.
Not this time, though.
Quite a lot of left hand in the Ginepri two-hander. Well, he's got the consistency, the power and the direction on the serve, and you really can't ask for a lot more. Keep your opponent at bay.
How many first serves did he get in that game, True?
Well, he got in 3 out of 5.
Yeah, so not quite keeping up the 90% average, but for the set, but still excellent. Even I can work that out at 60%.
Well, the crowd suggesting perhaps that one of Ginepri's shots was out. Maybe a little bias in their thinking.
You think Agassi's now at a stage where if he does go like here, 30 love down, he might sort of say, well, what, try too hard on this service game.
Have a few cracks. If they come off, fine.
Swing from the hip a bit.
Close.
There's Ginepri certainly pummeling the baseline at Agassi's end.
Yes, living dangerously. And Ginepri himself moving a little bit more slowly just at the moment. Maybe because he had 40 love there.
Just wide. But ironically, one of the best backhands he struck it very cleanly. Ginepri holds. Agassi's lead is down to 4-3. Did you find your form when you were playing a 5-set match ebbed and flowed a little?
Yes, certainly did. As witness Agassi, 2 sets love down against Blake, but of course that was more a case of Blake playing some terrific tennis. But it's difficult to keep up the concentration for over the course of 5 sets. And wins come and go too. It's not what you're eating, and not that I mean. It's just that you find you have purple patches where you believe that anything you hit is going to be a winner, turn to gold. And then there are other times, even during the course of the match, where smaller periods, hopefully, where things just don't go your way. And you've got to be very philosophical about that. Don't want to get too down on yourself. Of course, somebody like Agassi, with all his experience, he's been through both the bad and the good. The only problem is you get to a certain age and you can actually have too much experience.
Agassi leads. 3rd set, 1 set all, first of the semi-finals.
Well, there's always got to be one of those trademark Agassi points. Remember how Ginepri lost the first set with one of those.
Oh, it really is excellent serving now from Agassi. 8th ace.
It's almost as if he's turned up the speed here just to confuse Ginepri. So that Ginepri doesn't get into a rhythm.
Agassi's first double fault of the match.
Threw that one up pretty low.
Well, Ginepri certainly got off the boil a little with his ground strokes. And Agassi's taking full advantage. So Ginepri, after an hour and 3/4, serving to stay in this third set. Yeah. His third double fault.
Yes, the way he lost the last point of the last game, his legs looked a little rooted, looked a little heavy.
His seventh ace, first of this set.
Well, it's a powerful second serve. And of course, Agassi trying to meet power with power. But then he's a break up.
Somebody's got a souvenir. Well, Agassi would love to win this set right now for two reasons. One, takes all the pressure off, doesn't have to serve it out. And two, he would then start the fourth set on his own serve. It's set point.
They seem to wear him down. A little bit of variety.
Steffi talking to Gil Race. Andre's physical trainer and occasional bodyguard. A gentle giant. Oh no, still can't get that backhand to work.
Slightly late. I think that's what he said, wasn't it? A later call would be better.
Absolutely.
Does it suggest a little breakdown of concentration? Well, he was missing anyway.
Two set points saved then. But will it be third time lucky for Agassi?
This is, I think, almost his best serve, although that one he hits just a little flatter than some he's hit, where he's put just a bit of top on it. Still gets a heavy power out wide.
Lovely wrong footer. The line goes back to last night, and Maria Sharapova saving 5 match points in the second set. Still losing in the end, though. But Robbie Ginepri can't save a 4th set point. Andre Agassi takes a 2-1 lead.
Das Wetter wird immer extremer, das Breverdach auch. Eingehakt und festgenagelt ist das Breverdach extrem sicher, selbst bei Böen von 200 km/h. Brever, das Dach stark wie ein Stier.
Till, alles klar? Ich gehe rein. Wo rein? Ich rette die Firma. Wovor denn retten? Die Server, sie sind überall. Ich muss sie kriegen, bevor sie uns kriegen. Till, wir wechseln jetzt auf IBM-Server. Das soll ein Server sein? Ja, ein Blade. Der ist kompakter, nimmt viel weniger Platz weg. Hast du Blade gesagt? Leg die Tastatur hin.
Übernehmen Sie wieder die Kontrolle. Der skalierbare IBM eServer Blade Center mit Intel Xeon-Prozessoren.
Ist das deine Krawatte auf dem Kopf?
Nee, deine.
Einmal noch und sie ist über die linke Seite. Da geht man da durch bis zur Grundlinie. Flanke kommt, Kopfball ans Lattenkreuz. Mein lieber Freund.
Der nächste sitzt. 100%ig. Wahnsinn. Und mit Bet & Win kann ich jetzt noch live mitwetten. Und zwar bis zur allerletzten Spielminute. Da kann ich auf alles setzen. Wer wann ein Tor erzielt, wer Anstoß hat oder wer die nächste gelbe Karte kassiert. Und das ist ganz einfach. Hier bekomme ich alle Infos zum Spiel live und in Echtzeit. Die Quoten ändern sich je nach Spielverlauf. Wette aussuchen und Ergebnis tippen, dann Einsatz festlegen, bestätigen und fertig.
Spielflanke kommt.
Ah, ja!
Ist er drin?
Na also, geht doch.
Was für ein Tor.
Bet & Win, die Sportwette im Internet.
Well, the trainer is out there treating the Robbie Ginepri, we think maybe for blisters on the finger, but well, the serve fell away. In fact, his whole game fell away. I mean, 14 unforced errors.
Yes, I think he had the capability there, Ginepri, to win the set. It may be a slight misreading on my part, but I just felt that Agassi was there for the taking, which didn't necessarily mean that he was going to win the match if he won the set, Ginepri, although I feel he might well have. But maybe he too is, of course, a little undone. He's been on court prior to this match substantially, well, a fair bit longer than Agassi even. But then, look at him. He's young, he's strong.
So with that second break of the set, securing the set for Agassi, the real bonus of serving at the start of the 4th. Oh yes.
Well, of course, if he's found that shot, it's been the backhand cross court that's been the most troublesome, and he hasn't played many down the line. Played one in the last game, but not as close to the line as that.
Well, that's interesting. No effort to run for it. I wouldn't have thought it was that great a drop shot.
Yeah. Just watching his reaction. Running repairs to his fingers. He had those against Correa too. Blisters probably. He doesn't run on his hands.
Love game for Agassi to start the 4th set, and certainly the momentum is on the side of the veteran, the 2 times former champion, just at the moment.
Yes, be a great feeling for Agassi seeing Ginepri virtually give that game away, but he's too experienced to anticipate that that's the end of Ginepri. He'll assume that Ginepri has still got a lot of strength, still got a lot of fight, still got a lot of desire. You get to these semi-finals, you want to give it your very, very utmost. Well, he only had one ace in the last set, so he'll be hoping be quite a few more in this.
I have a feeling that was a little wide, and the arm started to go out, but no call in the end. Incredible reactions from Agassi then. That's our old bedfellows, isn't it, through the back-to-back love games?
Yes, side by side.
And they've both had 4 each, haven't they?
They have. Doing well in their togetherness.
Ginepri's also had 1 break to love, so that gives him an advantage.
Nice bit of wrong footing. Barely won points on the Agassi serve, of course, for quite some time. In fact, the whole of the last set, he only won 4 points on Agassi's serve.
Big serve. So from love 30 to 30 all.
A man who lay in his cot as a kid and had tennis balls suspended above. His father was so keen to get him into it. His father, a boxer who boxed for Iran.
Yeah, in the Olympic Games. Oh, beginning to make some backhands down the line through.
Yes, looking very ominous as far as Ginepri is concerned. On the stretch, not easy to control that.
Agassi holds, and he leads on serve by 2 games to 1 and by 2 sets to 1.
Tucson for adventurous drivers everywhere.
Enjoy the US Open with the Lacoste champions.
I think we were talking about the pace of the match and the fact that we're well into the 4th set. We haven't been playing for 2 hours, and we've had a 7-5 set in there. It really is refreshing the way these 2 men get on with it.
Yes, at times, I mean, Agassi's speed in between points and his sort of quick movement about the court, almost as if the film's been speeded up, is well known. At times, I think Ginepri just rushes a bit on, particularly on serve. and doesn't pay quite enough attention to damaging his opponent with damaging serves. He's got the physique, he's got the action. He needs to put it into effect a bit more.
Komsa.
Talking about Agassi starting young, Ginepri actually only began to concentrate on tennis when he was about 12. He's a bit of an all-rounder, played a whole lot of other sports.
Into double figures now in the ace count.
Yes, last year he only averaged just over 5 aces a match. Of course, most of those matches are best of 3-set matches. But he could really double that.
No great alarms or excursions for either man in the first 4 games of this 4th set. Just 3 points against the serve in total. 2-all.
Well, he put in the extra little step there, Ginepri, which is a good sign. If he were feeling just a little heavy of limb, he might have tried to stretch for it rather than put in the quick step. But he hasn't taken Agassi to deuce for a long, long time. The last time, of course, he broke him at the end of the second set, but no deuces at all in the third.
Second double fault from Andre.
That was too much of a stretch. Wasn't that pacey a serve.
(3-2) then. Agassi leads, inching ever closer to the finishing line.
Wetten? Gewinnen kann man überall. Mit Bet & Win. Deutschlands größtem Wettangebot. Lust auf Wetten? Bet & Win. Die Sportwette im Internet.
th US Open for Andre Agassi. And he needs 3 more games to reach the final in New York. For the 6th time, twice the champion, 3 times the runner-up. We're still on the serve in the 4th set. So no one is writing Ginepri off just yet. Certainly Agassi won't be.
Well, Sampras so often was Agassi's nemesis here at the US. Lost him 4 times in all at US Opens. Their final record, incidentally, was 20 wins by Sampras and 14 by Agassi.
Couple of loose shots here from Ginepri. Really has never played as well since winning the second set.
This is a huge point. He's got him.
Oh! He had him. If only it had come over the net.
Didn't he read it well?
A little bit of extra depth there from Ginepri.
Well, should Ginepri win this match, remember that point. I'll give an Agassi break point. It's the third time in 2 sets he's won the first point on the Agassi serve.
Well, Agassi was love 30 down in the third game of this set.
Agassi not even waiting for the applause to die down, just getting on with it.
Well, he seems to be struggling if he's pulled wide to the forehand now. Ginepri's not getting there, is he?
No, he's just opening up too much. You can see the left side of his body. He's just not holding his form long enough. He ends up slapping at it. Well, I thought he made the wrong move, but he guessed so well, so correctly.
And here's the first break point then of the fourth set. Poor forehand from Agassi, and just when we were beginning to sense him reaching the finishing line, Ginepri gets the break, and now we think of a possibility of a fifth set. Didn't see that coming, Fruit.
No, and certainly, I mean, a couple of early points lost in the game, and that naturally gives Ginepri huge hope. But throughout the game, there was a look of strength in Ginepri, and not as if he was going to fade. physically or mentally. Mentally is probably the most likely area for him to go down, but he's very strong, no doubt, telling himself how well he's done in these 5-set matches that he's come through. Remember, he's played 3 of them successively. Haas, Gasquet, Correa. So it can tie you on the one hand, but on the other hand, it can give you an enormous amount of self-belief.
And I'm sure he's saying to himself, if I can get to a 5th set, I'm going to be so much stronger than the other guy who's 13 years older than me.
Yes.
Well, one thing's for certain, the second semi-final is not going to start at its allotted hour of 3 p.m. local time, because that's in 18 minutes' time. Four 3, Ginepri leading. He's found the aces again through, isn't he? That's, what, 4 aces in this set so far?
Yes, which matches the number he served in the opening set. Well, that suggests, of course, good physical strength. Wow, super. It's all very hard to say the chap has the potential, and it's something that he could work on in time, but then suddenly just to erupt with those aces.
3 in the game. 13 in the match. Agassi serving to stay in the 4th set. His 3rd double. Followed by a 9th ace.
The serve he's used quite a bit, and every now and again Ginepri just anticipates it and lets fly. Well, really risk perhaps, but he usually serves that so well, and he's pretty miserly as a rule with double faults. Doesn't usually average much more than 2 or so a match.
His drop shots have been, by his high standards, poor today.
Yes, he usually wins a high percentage of them. Not quite getting them close enough to the net. There's always a bit of side spin on, as you can see there.
Agassi into double figures in the aces count at 10. Agassi holds, and Ginepri will have to try and serve out the 4th set at 5 games to 4.
He's interesting, isn't he? 8 points played there in that game, and yet he was through them in no time at all. Short rallies, I know, but he just gets on with it. It's almost as if he's got a a rendezvous with his wife at the Oyster Bar on Grand Central Station at a certain time, and he feels he's got to make the appointment. Doesn't want to let the maitre d' down. Nothing casual. It's all business. It's like somebody going at a typewriter. His legs doing what the fingers do.
That shows your age. There aren't any typewriters now. It's
the
funny.
Keyboard.
Yes, the keyboard. It is funny, actually. I mean, compared with 20 years ago, I mean, you went into a press room after a big match at a Grand Slam, and everybody was hammering away at a typewriter, and there was a cacophony of noise. And now, of course, all you hear is the little tap of finger on computer keyboard. No phones ringing. Robbie Ginepri coming out to serve for the fourth set of this first men's semi-final, and to take us into a decider. And he too, not worried about the noise, just getting on with it.
Well, his shot to the line must have been very close. Agassi was that far back by Agassi standards in order to combat the ball, which got the outside edge of the line. Good time for Ginepri to use the drop shot. Missed it. Just lifting as he's playing those. It's not Agassi form.
Three set points then. Serves it out to Love. That is mental toughness indeed. After 2 hours and 17 minutes, it's 2 sets all.
Luxus via Internet? JetSetMarket.com. Aber nur für die High Society. JetSetMarket.com. You don't live twice.
Till, alles klar? Ich gehe rein. Wo rein? Ich rette die Firma. Wovor denn retten? Die Server, sie sind überall. Ich muss sie kriegen, bevor sie uns kriegen. Till, wir wechseln jetzt auf IBM-Server. Das soll ein Server sein? Ja, ein Blade. Der ist kompakter, nimmt viel weniger Platz weg. Hast du Blade gesagt? Leg die Tastatur hin.
Übernehmen Sie wieder die Kontrolle. Der skalierbare IBM e-Server Blade Center mit Intel Xeon-Prozessoren.
Ist das deine Krawatte auf dem Kopf?
Nee, deine.
Über die linke Seite. Da geht mal da durch bis zur Grundlinie. Flanke kommt, Kopfball ans Lattenkreuz. Mein lieber Freund.
Der nächste sitzt. 100%ig. Wahnsinn. Und mit Bet & Win kann ich jetzt noch live mitwetten. Und zwar bis zur allerletzten Spielminute. Da kann ich auf alles setzen. Wer wann ein Tor erzielt, wer Anstoß hat oder wer die nächste gelbe Karte kassiert. Und das ist ganz einfach. Hier bekomme ich alle Infos zum Spiel live und in Echtzeit. Die Quoten ändern sich je nach Spielverlauf. Wette aussuchen und Ergebnis tippen, dann Einsatz festlegen, bestätigen und fertig.
Spielflanke kommt.
Ah, ja.
Ist er drin?
Na also, geht doch.
Was für ein Tor.
Bet & Win, die Sportwette im Internet.
Settle down then for the final set of this first men's singles semi-final at the US Open, with Frim McMillan and myself, David Mercer. 2 sets all. For Agassi, a third successive 5-setter. For Ginepri, a fourth successive 5-setter. Fabulous atmosphere as Agassi will serve.
Well, the Americans can't lose, can they? Already a couple of winners yesterday, the Bryan twins, winning their first US Open title. Oh, that's painful for Agassi. He's going to do so well to win this. Immediately pushed wide. That's the way to rub salt into the wound.
What a chance then for Ginepri. 2 break points right at the start of the 5th. How much more does Agassi have to offer?
Of course, you covered that serve. He's got the one down the middle as well. That's big, brave hitting. 15 strokes it took. Engineered initially with a backhand down the line, but good defense from Ginepri. His forehand just taking the baseline. Tended to play a little conservatively, trying to wear Agassi down. His shots were mostly down the middle of the court.
A fascinating start to this final set then. 2 aces, 2 break points. Grace. And at the end of it, Agassi holds. So he has a lot more to offer.
It just adds to it, doesn't it? It makes it that much more enticing, not only for us, but for these folk here. Wonderful serving percentage by Ginepri, of course, and in the course of that 4-set losing only 3 points on serve. Therefore his winners multiplying, and Agassi just 1 surplus, 8 winners to the 7 unforced errors. Young and untried at this sort of level. It's a huge match, win or lose now for Ginepri. He's done so well. Ranked 105 on July the 4th.
Wonder what he had for his Independence Day lunch that set him on the road.
He's set himself on the road with this now terrific serving. I mean, this is like Sampras.
He's up to 15 aces now.
Well done. You could hear the effort.
And given that it was 40 love, he might easily have said, not worth it.
Yes, an interesting point, David.
Of course, if he breaks now, it'll be very much worth it.
Well, yes. As you said, 40 love. Maybe he's just trying to tell himself that he's not tired. I don't think he's intent here on sending messages to his opponent.
Oh, yes, sir.
Brilliant. What a magnificent point. It's worth a standing ovation. It was virtually around the net post as the forehand was earlier on in the match, and after such a cruel rally.
40 love back to juice then.
Well, he's got the uncanny ability to retrieve those and dump them on the baseline. It's in a way surprising that it went long.
So Ginepri holds in the end. 1-1 final set. Let's just remind you, of course, that this being the US Open, if we do get to 6-6 in this set, there will be a tiebreak to decide the match.
Good to see Ginepri taking that on. He lost 3 points in the game, and much as he lost in the whole of the fourth set on serve, and yet it didn't deter him from really attacking the smash. There's a smash that he missed to give Agassi the first set, but that didn't hold him back. He seems to look forward and not back.
New balls in play.
Well, certainly Ginepri showing Agassi-like qualities. Good moving, good defense, the high ball to enable him to get back to position in the middle of the court, and then to turn on the power, the hot tap. He just seemed to know that with Agassi hitting the ball as hard as that, unless he hit it back to his forehand side, he wasn't going to get to it. So why bother to try?
Aces for Agassi.
Was it Marshall Foch who said something about my left is giving way, my right is giving way, I'm being pushed from the centre? Excellent, I'll attack. Yes. Well, he did that against Blake, did Agassi, and won. Asking a lot of himself to bring that off.
Agassi holds, and we're on serve early in the fifth. Well, a lot of people have been speculating that this could be Andre's last US Open, but that's not a view that is shared by his coach, Darren Cahill, the Australian.
Well, he's definitely hoping to play next year. It's certainly retirement's not in his plans, and I guess a little bit will depend on how his body stands up physically, but he's really just taking it one match at a time and certainly one tournament at a time and making sure that he gets the training in to make sure that his body is ready every time he steps on the court. And and that was the difference that was made from the French Open through to the hardcourt season. He took the time off and missed Wimbledon, which was tough for all of us to miss such a great tournament, and that was to make sure that his body was physically ready to be able to do what he did last night against James and the match before against Xavier Malisse, and thankfully it's all paid off for him.
One thing that occurs to me, though, he's had 2 days off since he played James Blake. If he comes through this match, which is a big if, obviously, he's going to have, well, he'll be back out there in 25 hours' time.
Yes, it will not be easy for him. And, of course, important for Coach Cahill to know what Agassi's plans are, because if Agassi decides he's not playing next year, Coach Cahill has got to find David Mercer to coach.
I'm speechless.
The beauty of this contest is that Ginepri takes an Agassi approach to matters. In other words, Agassi's coming at him, much like they were against Maréchal Foch, and he's also going to pound away.
It's past the 2.5 hour mark, only really, when you think we're deep into a 5th set now. Yes, it is lovely to see both men going for it.
Getting on with it.
Yeah, both of those two things as well. You think with $30 million in the bank, he'd afford something other than a rubber band around the bottom of his racket. Agassi, that's what he uses to dampen the tension. Vibrations.
I'm surprised in a way you're so pleased with the way they're going through this, because you've not had time for your cream cake. You know, generally during the long rallies you get stuck into the old cream cakes, the eclairs.
I'm on a diet now, fruit. Lost 1.25 stone this year. No cream cakes. Seem to remember you tucking into one yesterday. Was that an ace?
He didn't touch it.
See, you quite put me off my stride by talking about cream cakes. I'm salivating.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons, of course, Agassi turns on the power just to end these points so much more quickly.
And the Jazz is back out there with her mum. Also their son, of course, Jaden. Love game for Agassi. And he leads 3-2 in the 5th.
Wetten? Gewinnen kann man überall. Mit Bet & Win, Deutschlands größtem Wettangebot. Lust auf Wetten? Bet & Win, die Sportwette im Internet.
Jetzt gibt es den brandneuen Flirt-Spaß von iLove im Sparabo direkt auf deinem Handy. Einmal runterladen und ohne teuren SMS-Chat mit über 2 Millionen Singles flirten. Sende jetzt Liebe 7 an die 80 3 mal die 3.
Dich nervt dein Betreiberlogo, weil es genau an der falschen Stelle steht und dir jedes Handybild versaut? Dann hol dir das Jamba-Lösch-Logo im Sparabo. Schicke einfach €30 an 5 mal die 3 und du hast endlich freie Sicht auf dein Handy-Display.
Well, we've been blessed with some terrific matches over the last few days here at the US Open. Here's Robbie Ginepri serving 2-3 in the fifth.
He took it so early, almost half volleyed at Agassi.
Can he find the inspiration to put together 3 more points like that? If he can get a racket on the ball, of course. 16th ace of Ginepri. Agassi served 14.
Yes, I mentioned the fact that it was a bit like Sampras. I wasn't, of course, implying that he serves like Sampras, nowhere near as great, but the point was it must be a little frustrating for Agassi. He was so often frustrated by Sampras to feel that he's got Ginepri, and then Ginepri comes up with these aces.
There are points, big points and massive points. 2-3-30 all. He'll be desperately disappointed with that. Second serve was way short.
Could see it coming, couldn't you? And I suppose Ginepri remembered the first point where he'd served the second serve to the forehand. Figured, I'm not going to put another one there.
That, of course, was a first serve. It's the first break point of the fifth set.
He doesn't push it for a winner, does he? He just goes for it. And then has that very assured, certainly not haughty, just assured look. Wow, he just wondered what he was going to do, and his speed helped him. A bit like Fräulein Graf used to run.
Yep, I think Jaden liked that one. Dad's got another break point.
No, hasn't got it.
Well, it's funny, we've said all along how poorly he's drop-shotted, and then he comes up with the perfect one.
And he played one at a similar stage too against James Blake. Couldn't quite remember whether it was in the tiebreaker, but it was at a very, very vital point.
Agassi has the break and a 4-2 fifth set lead. And about 4 days ago, I said to it was Nigel Sears, how about an Agassi Pierce double? And I was told I was an old romantic. Could be the year of the Golden Oldies.
Well, you didn't mean playing mixed doubles together. You meant both of them winning the singles here. There is a bit of the romantic about you. Well, I wondered whether he could last a fifth set. I thought Ginepri could take him in 5.
15 aces for Agassi. Can you believe it?
Eight successive points on serve.
And he's racing towards the finishing line. But is there a hidden wire to trip him up somewhere?
Oh, stop it.
He's caught up. Ginepri again in the aces count. Another love service game. He leads 5-2 in the 5th.
Wetten? Gewinnen kann man überall. Mit Bet & Win. Deutschlands größtem Wettangebot. Lust auf Wetten? Bet & Win. Die Sportwette im Internet.
Cyprus, welcome to the island for all seasons.
Robbie Ginepri, can he come up with one last twist in this particular plot? Andre Agassi 5-2 up in the final set. It is only the one break of serve though. And the first task for Ginepri is to force Jaden's dad and Jazz's dad and Steffi's husband to serve it out. Well, Agassi thought it was wide. He stopped playing.
You're winning too quickly. The Lions folk want to see a bit more of you. Ginepri's got to contend too with the sound here. You hear the odd voice shouting for Robbie, but for Agassi, well, you can hear him down in the Hamptons.
And for those of you not familiar with this, the geography of this part of the United States, the Hamptons are out on Long Island. The railroad track runs right past us. The backhand's working now. The forehand's never stopped working.
This is all a ruse, you know. I mean, as if he hasn't got enough money. He seems to be working for some food company. And this, of course, will be it. How to survive, how to last. So he lets them all go to 5 sets and then turns on the power. Whatever it is, I want it.
Got bad news for you and I. It's too late. We should all remember that the fat lady may be gargling, but she hasn't started singing yet. Ginepri holds. And now the task for Agassi.
Agassi leads 5 games to 3.
is to win 4 little points on his serve. So simple, isn't it? And yet so difficult.
There are Horan and Hooten. Come on, Ginepri. Get it together. It's not that I mind who wins, I just want to see it go the distance.
You want another final set breaker.
Stood a little upright on it. Eleven successive points on the Agassi serve. Well,
3 match points. Darren Cahill on his feet. Jazz has got it. What's important, Dad winning or having a crisp? Quite right.
oh no, what's he on?
What a sensational story. At 35, he's the oldest Grand Slam finalist for 21 years. In the final for the 6th time, in his 20th Open, 35 years young, Andre Agassi has won 3 straight matches in 5 sets. You wouldn't dare write a script like this.
Well, quite amazing. What a figure in the game. Sampras went out of here winning the title. Surely Agassi's not going to win this one. He's got to go on tomorrow. This is his 3rd 5-set match. And what a match. Blake, Ginepri, he takes on these Americans and he downs them.
Agassi through then. Who will he face in the final? Roger Federer or Leighton Hewitt? Agassi wins the 5th set, 6-3.